Welcome to the UltraScale PCI Express example design quick take video. Today we're going to walk through creating a PCI Express design in the new UltraScale architecture in the Vivado software. Once we generate the core, we'll implement it in Vivado, take it all the way to a board, and then load it into a system and look at what we can see in that system using some standard Linux commands. The first thing we want to do is create a new project in Vivado. We'll give it a name, and once we have that name put in, we want to make sure that we select the right part, and the part we need is the same part that is on this KCU 105 board that we're going to use. Once we get that part put in and our project generated, let's go ahead and open the IP catalog and browse to the UltraScale FPGA Gen 3 PCI Express block. Here we can see where there's a lot of different settings that we can make for PCI Express. We're going to go ahead and make it a by 8 Gen 3 design. We also need to make sure that we select the board as one of the options so that we will get the correct constraints when we generate the core. Along the top we have quite a few different tabs that have different values that we can set. We're going to leave those all at their default values for this particular project. Let's go ahead and generate the core, and once we have it generated, we will go up and right click on the core, and this will open a context menu where we can select Open IP Example Design. And when we do that, this is going to create what's called the PIO example design, where we can then load and run this particular design all the way through the flow. So here you see we have our top level of our example design. It has the PCI Express core as well as our example application. There are also some top level constraints in here. For some users it may be necessary to copy these constraints over into their design, but we'll just browse them for now. Now let's go ahead and generate a bit stream, and we will do that. We've sped this up quite a bit, so rather than taking 20 minutes, it's only going to take us a few seconds to run through here. Let's go ahead and open the design, and what you'll see on the right hand side are the transceivers. Highlighted in white is the PCI Express block itself, and then we have the rest of the design scattered in the LUTs. So now what we want to do is let's program this design, now that we have the bit stream, into the actual FPGA and onto the board. So let's go ahead and open our hardware platform and then select the device. Our bit stream has already been selected. We'll go ahead and hit program and program that device. And once we have that done, we're going to go to our next step, which is to put this KCU 105 board into a system, and we'll go ahead and boot up into Linux. So here in our Linux box, we're going to type a command called lspci, which lets us see different values of the configuration space of certain PCI Express endpoints. 10EE is Xilinx. You'll notice here we get access denied. That's because we're not a super user. So we need to log in as super user. So let's do that and run this command again. And now you'll see that we get a lot more information about our PCI Express core. Here you'll see there's max payload size set to 512 bytes, some other values. Notice that the speed is unknown. That's because we have an older version of Linux, so that's a good thing. Otherwise it would say Gen 3. So recapping, we were able to use the new UltraScale architecture, create a PCI Express design, implement its example design, download it all to a KCU 105 board, and look at it on the Linux operating system.